All right, here's part two of our last live week labs, and I want to finish putting a few things into the guest room. And I wanted to talk a little bit about where we can find more information. I may have started this in a little bit. I'm just going to go to my Google. You can see I've got RCAT up here, Autodesk Seek, and we can go down through some furniture. I just typed in sofa. Um, this looks like a nice chair to put into my building, so I'm going to just grab an RFA as a Revit file, and I want to include the material rendering files for the fabric, veneer and woods, the lounge sofa, and yeah, the type. Let's take them all. And select all. That's a zip file. They give you all the different types of fabrics that this thing is in. Oh, that says materials are included. Okay, so I don't need this. I think it's Revit 2011. So I'm thinking I gotta just double click it maybe. 2D ready, constrained. Download, there it is. So it is a zip file. I'll wait till it finishes. Looks like it's done. Almost. Double click it. There's our sofa. Just double click that. It's going to upgrade it one time. I'll probably put two of these in just because it looks so nice. So there's my sofa. I'm going to set this one over here by this lamp. And I'll set one over here. I'm going to go spin these things. So I'm going to take this one and spin it about like this. Hit escape twice. I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to spin this one. Maybe like that. Looking out the window. All right. I need a dresser, so I'll come back over here. Let's just type in dresser. See what they got. There's one. That looks kind of hotel-y. Grab this one. And 2012 is good enough. Download. Open it up. There it is. Load into project. Hotel. It's going to ask you which one you want to put it in. So I'll put that right here. It's difficult to tell what the front is on this thing till I start looking. So I'm going to take a stab at it that, oh, come on. There we go. That might be the front. Push it back in between these two outlets. Let's take a quick look from the bedroom side. Make sure we got a, I'm standing there looking in this direction. I got the doors on right, so we pull this out. It's kind of big, isn't it? I wonder if we can shrink it down. It is a little bit big. Yeah, I could probably play around with it. I'm not sure what I did with my properties. There it is. It's 48 inches by 72 inches by 24. Yeah, let's make the height more like 3 feet. The width more like 5 feet. The depth more like 1'6". That looks better. A little more to scale. Okay, so we're starting to get some things in here. I think that's my floor. I need to raise that up. I forgot to raise it up on this one, 1/8 inch. Yeah, what did I type in? 2 inches, okay. Didn't need to put the inch mark, 1/8 inch. There we go. So we can play around with this as we go. Although looks like it should be carpet anyway. Carpet 2. There we go. Lastly, let's just go take one more look back here. Now I have a couple other places. I have a CAD forum. You have to sign up for this one. They have a lot of different things that people have created. If I look in my blocks, let me just type in artwork. And no blocks. Art. How about just art? And we got a sprocket. Some tables, a chair. Anything with ART in it would put it in there. Let's see, paintings. All right, let's go check Autodesk Seek. See if anybody's got any paintings in here. There's one. That's just PPG paints. I wonder what the RFA is. That's just a color library apparently for the stuff. So one more stab. Picture frame. There's one. So we'll go with this RPC picture frame. And we'll go with the 2012. We'll download it. And we'll bring it up. And load it into my hotel. And we'll place that right on the dresser. And we'll rotate that around. So if I go look at my 3D view, oh come on, I buried it. I select it, whoops. And I need to offset. What was the height of that? 3 feet. There it is. I don't know what the picture is. Ooh la la, who is that? I have no idea. Anywho, so we can continue decorating, go out and find some artwork. There was and I'll see if I can figure it out for our final videos next week, so I won't get into this too much. You can just keep decorating with your furniture and whatnot. I do have a way to custom place these on here, so we'll look at that a little bit later on. So now what we're going to do is go outside the building. So I'm going to go to my site plan. We've done some of this in the lab, but this is for those that may have missed it. There's our site plan. We just have our building. If you have any columns or footings or anything like that on, just hopefully, yeah, I'm recording. Okay. Make sure you're zoomed out so we just see the building footprint. And what we're going to do here is create a massing, a site with a topo surface. So I'm going to click my topo surface. I'm going to use a place point, and I'm going to set an elevation here of -10 feet. And I'm going to go around the outside. You can see this black dot. Once I place the third dot out here, it'll start connecting these lines. So all the way around here, this is 10 feet in elevation. And we want to come up to, say, maybe 8 feet, negative 8 feet. This negative 8 feet is 8 feet below the first floor, which is at elevation 0, 0. So we'll bring this over here like this. And then what we're going to do is go to negative 6 inches, which would bring us 6 inches below the floor. And I'm just going to make a real fine series of points around the outside. So it'll drain away from the building 6 inches down. Okay? So at 1 foot down, negative 1, I'm going to place my parking lot. My parking lot's going to start in this corner. It's going to go all the way over to here. It's going to come down to this point. It's going to come down to this point, and maybe this point. There we go. So we got kind of a steep bank here. So if I do a, what did I say, negative 8, negative 10, I'll stretch this out a little bit down here so it extends that out a little further. I don't know whether I can delete that one or move it. I'd like to get rid of that. Oh crap. I'm going to back up until I get rid of that thing. Oh, that's why it's at 8 foot. Well, I'll just drop my... Alright, so go -1. Hit it again. I think that one's there. I'm going to keep it maybe up to here. Okay. So we got a steep bank. This will be our parking lot up here, and our road will come down. I'll hit finish. And actually, let's make a little more. No, I don't want to do that, so we'll just finish it up. Now I'm going to see if I can. There we go. I want to put a couple drainage swales like I did in class. So if I do my place point back here, I want to make these at -14 feet. And I'm going to start right here. Just kind of imagine a little oval shape for a pond. And we'll do another one over on this side. And what this will be is an area that water can drain into. And now we'll say that's complete. Now if we look at it in 3D view from the outside, it's thinking. There we go. So you can start to see these impressions in the back, our flat area for our parking lot in the front. So I'm going to give this some shading. If I just select this piece now, I'm going to edit the material. Right now it doesn't have anything on it. So we'll go see if we can find some material that we can put on here. So, no idea what that is. Let's take this one. It's already green. And we'll just, down here at the bottom, you can drop this down and say duplicate it. And I'm going to call this grass. There it is. And I'm going to give it a nice appearance. A little bit darker green. Maybe something more like that. And then for a finish, I'm going to give it a, I'll go flat matte, application, be a brush. That's a wall paint. That's not really good. Need something with some texture. Let's find something a little fuzzier. Default mask zone. Well, that looks interesting. See what it looks like. Kind of nasty. But anyway, we'll edit it. So I'll select it again. Let's just see the appearance. All right, well, maybe I can work with this. Let's try something. I'm going to duplicate this. And we're going to call it grass 2. All right, so now I'm going to go to my Internet Explorer and I'm going to type in grass. If this works, it'll be interesting. Images. I want a grass image texture. Something like maybe I need something that's fairly, ooh, that looks pretty good right here. And we'll just say view image. You get all kinds of nice turf here. That one's kind of nice. Oh, that's nice. All right. So, view image, right click, save image as, and I'm going to stick this in my, come on. I'll go to CIE 101A 2015, images, grass. Simplify the name, we'll say save. Not very big. Close that out, go back to Revit. Now let's check this image out here. I'm just going to go to my desktop. I'm going to go to CIE 101A 2015 images, grass, open. Not bad. We don't want any glossiness on this. And we don't want the image to fade. Transparency, yeah, not much. Let's just see what that looks like. Hit OK. See if we're getting any texture on this. I want a realistic rendering. All right, not yet. Okay. So let's select it again. We'll go take a look, see what I'm maybe doing wrong. Text appearance. Reflectivity. I bet it's the bump map. I'm going to grab the same image for the bump map. What this does is it gives it some roughness. Hit apply. Oh, you see how it's changing there? So let's see. There it is. Just very, very scaled out. So I don't know whether there's a way we can increase the scale of that bump map a little bit. Transparency, none. Bump, amount. Let's go down to that and see if it makes it bigger. Yeah, what this does is it reduces the size. Let's say OK. Getting better. I'm going to try it one more time. I know you're bored. Bear with me. That's what geeks do. And I'm going to go down here and just rough that right up. Refraction. And transparency, we don't need that. Glossiness, image fade. That should work. Well, it doesn't really give me the texture I'm looking for. I mean, I can see it, but not quite there yet. But anyway, we'll keep working on it. Let's go back to our site view now that we can see some grass on there. And we'll turn this parking lot in here. So let's go to our subregion, which is right up here at the top in our massing in site. And I'm going to create a parking lot using a rectangle. And I'm just going to draw this rectangle like about here. And then I'm going to take my line tool. I'm going to put a driveway down here that's so 24 feet wide up to the top. And hit escape for a second. Let's go ahead and slice that. I'm going to slice it from here to here. Then I can hit escape. We'll delete that piece out. I'd like to put a walkway in, but not really sure where it comes out of the building exactly. Looking to see if there was anything in there. I'm just going to go ahead and eyeball one in. Maybe I can. I'll just make it really wide. And we'll slice that one out. Same way. Just mark out the line. And delete twice. And then we'll select this and delete it. And we'll do a save. It'll turn blue telling me that that's my cutout area. Now if I select that piece and I go to my category, what I'm going to do is select concrete, cast in place right here. And the appearance, you can make it darker or lighter. So if I want to make it a little darker gray, like that, hit OK. Yeah, okay. So now let's go to our 3D file again. And when we look at this rendered, we see that our parking lot is now set up green or dark. Oh, look how I hit that right on the money. That's a sign I've been working on this building way too long. Don't have any roof over the top of it, but that's okay. All right, so now let's go back to our site plan. Oh, I'm pretty amazed with myself. So we're going to put some parking spaces on here. So we'll go to our parking components and we'll go to these 9 by 18 90-degree parking spots. And we don't want to rotate them. We're just going to say I'm going to put one here. I'm going to move this down to here. I don't know why that does that. Oops, sorry. You have to kind of let it lock in. And we'll just grab 3 of these. I'll copy it from here to here. And we probably don't want a parking spot right here. We'll call that our handicap spot. So I'll grab these 2, move these out of the way of the walk, and then I can copy them. I think I get an extra line there. No, I don't. Now I'll copy 4. So I always want to grab this corner and go to that corner. So now I'll grab these, which is too many, but I'll take them anyway. And we'll take out this one. And we'll take out this one. Now we can take all of these parking spaces. We'll do a mirror copy along an axis, which is about right here. And I'll just zoom in. and pull these down to the edge of the parking lot. And I'll pull this one over to this edge. I'm going to grab this one. Actually, I'll grab those two. Bring it right in here. And we'll copy this one from here to here. Okay. So if we render that now, we should see just parking stripes. So the closer you get in, it's under modeled a little bit, but that just gives it some realism. So now I've gone to CAD Forum. I've downloaded some vehicles. So I'm going to go to my architecture component. I'm going to load in a couple vehicles. I stuck them in my entourage. Oh, I do have an RP. Oh, that's that RPC picture frame. So there's a Toyota Tundra. That's kind of one of my favorites. I'm going to park that right up here. Oops. Probably because I already have it on here. SUV Toyota Tundra. There it is. So I'm going to park that one right here, backed in. And we'll go get a SUV. And we'll park that over here. And we'll put a twin down here, drove into this side. And let's see, what else do we have? Place Alex right out here by his truck. There he is. All right, so now if I want another truck, I can hit load family. Go to my entourage, and there's a Chevy Camaro. Red one. I'm going to throw that one right in there. I should park it diagonally. That's what those Camaro drivers do. So let me show you how I go get these cars. I'm going to minimize this for a second. Go to my CAD forum. I'm already logged in. Again, you have to log in, create a login, and they'll then give you access to all of their stuff. So I'm just going to be looking for RFAs, which are Revit files, and I'll type in auto AUTO mobiles. What? Let's try cars. Stoplight. I know there's cars in here. About vehicle. There's an off-road Audi, SUV, a Bobcat, BMW. Everybody ought to have a few of those. Renault Kangoo, Volkswagen Beetle, golf cart. We don't need two D symbols. Sometimes, oh, Lamborghini. Now, should I? I'll go with the Jeep. So I'll just grab the Jeep. I'm just going to select it here. It's going to download. It's 579.5 kilobytes. Click it here so it opens up. It's going to upgrade it to 2014. I think a lot of these are made over in Russia. Vladimir's and Plavjeks. Taking an awful long time to open up here. It was a Ferrari. Yeah, let me just go see if this is open. There it is. So we'll say load into project. I want it in my hotel. And we're going to come out. Now you notice it's not in my site plan, so I have to go to my site plan. You'd think it disappears. Just click your component and it remembers the last thing you had on there. So we'll just place this Jeep. And I'm going to be rude and put it right up next to the building. So that's how you go get buildings. Now we want to start putting some trees and some site components on here. So I go to massing and site. There's my site components, and I drop this down, and I've got some trees. There's a common apple tree, and I'm just going to place a few of these around the parking lot. I'll maybe put one over here. Oops. Now that's a 20-foot apple tree. Let's assume I want a 30-foot apple tree. I'll just come in here and say duplicate common apple 30 feet. This is height. And I'm going to change my height to 30 feet, which will automatically change the diameter. We'll say OK. And now when I go to place an apple tree, it's going to be a big one. So I'll place this one I'll kind of bury it right into that one so the limbs will blend. Okay, so you can adjust the size of these so they look more natural. Now we'll drop this down. Let's see, 18-foot fraxinius. I'll put one right here, and I'll put one over here. Hit escape. And parking components, what else do we have? That's just parking spots. So site components. I really don't see anything there. So I'm going to go to my architecture component. We're going to say load family. We'll go to lighting. We're going to go to architectural external lighting. And I want a street light. I'm going to say open. It'll place it on my cursor. So I'm going to place one right here in the corner. And you can see it's pointing in the wrong direction. So it tells me what the voltage is. And I'm going to take this. You can move the pivot point wherever you want. So I'm going to say, okay, I want this to rotate 90 degrees. And now I can take this piece and I can copy it to this side. And we'll put one on, oops, is that copy or moving? On that side. And we'll put one way down the other end of the parking lot, right down here. So let's go take a look at this now and see how we're doing. Just go to my 3D view. Okay, not too bad. So what I want to do now is I want to get a good camera shot of this just so I can start seeing what my angle is going to be. So I'm going to go to my site plan again. And we'll see where we want to grab this picture from. You can figure out how to zoom in and out. If it's moving really slow, just change your rendering to hidden line. And once it resets, you should be able to kind of move things a little quicker. Alright, so I'm going to take a picture from about here looking up at my hotel. So I'm going to take my view 3D camera, and I want to be just standing right here at the lower portion of this knoll, and I want to be shooting up at my hotel, and I'm going to go all the way past it. So that looks pretty good. And once you're here, you can kind of adjust your frame, because eventually what I'm going to do in the next video is show you how to put some background in here. So this actually gives it a multi-point perspective. And we'll pull this up. And we'll go look at the, as we look at how we're going to render this thing, we'll start looking at making sure we turn our shadows on. We want to check our sun setting. So we know that north is on the backside. So if we set our still for Bangor on today's date, 4/22 at let's say 1 p.m. Ground plane level will be floor 1. We'll just hit apply. You'll see your shadows change a little bit. So you can see I'm getting more light on the front, pushing towards the back end. So the sun is coming around. Maybe I want a little bit lower light so I can go earlier in the day, maybe 10 a.m., hit apply. We should see more of our shadows come out on the front now. If I want later afternoon, let's try 3 p.m., hit apply, and that should bring the sun more so it's facing right behind me. If we close this out now, and I come over here to my graphic display for editing in this view, we can change it so our lighting, our sun is brighter, our ambient light is higher, maybe cut down our shadows just a little bit, and say we can adjust our, and we'll just say okay. And now let's just give it a realistic rendering first. So it's not too bad. Got some flowers on the trees and good light. And what I want to do now is we're going to try a ray trace. And what ray trace does is it makes multiple passes. You'll notice this menu comes up here on the top. So it has stop, it has save, it has close. And this is a progressive rendering. So the more you wait, the longer you wait, the crisper and more detailed the image will become. So you can see things like our vehicles are starting to show up in much better detail. It's making multiple passes over the system at different angles and picking up different light refractions and shadows, just giving us a more realistic appearance for the ray tracing. So I'm going to let that set for a few minutes and kind of pick it up. I think if I start to zoom in, it'll start from scratch, so you just have to kind of leave it alone. But you can see how nice the trees look. You can see this apple that I made bigger than this one. Kind of gives it a little bit more natural appearance. And if we had a background in here, we'd actually see the background through this glass wall in the front where these balconies stick out inside the building. So that makes it kind of interesting. We also see light coming from these light fixtures. So you can see the longer I wait, the more it's, I'm going to stop it now. And I could save that image as a JPEG, but I won't do it just yet. I'm going to change this back to realistic for a second. And I want to adjust the lighting again. This time, let's see what it would look like if I made it, let's say, 3 a.m. in the morning. And I want, I'll say okay. And for my lighting, I'm going to check my graphic display. And we're going to say lighting, artificial lights. I want sun. I want just exterior artificial only. We'll bump up the ambient light a little bit. The shadows, we'll just say apply and say okay. I want to see if my street lights will show any lights on the outside with just those street lights I put in. It's always good to kind of experiment a little bit. So it's thinking. You can see down here on the green bar, it's working its way through. Thinking hard, apparently. 50%. A watched progress bar. So now you can see, it's actually, see how the light's coming off those pieces. I'm not sure why my vehicles, but you can see the light from the street light is kind of lighting up the building back there. Not real bright. It's actually still working. I think it's going through each light individually and doing the light calculations. So I've got 4 light fixtures, and we'll see as it moves through if it picks up that second light. Not sure if it did or not. I'll let it finish and see what it does. Because I know you guys got nothing else to do. Sit here and listen to me and watch me mess with lighting on the model. But sometimes you end up with some pretty interesting views when it's all done. And as long as it's still working, it's still calculating something out there. But the more artificial lights you have, of course, the more tough it is. And remember, I've got lights inside the building, so I could actually, let me just, I don't know whether I can stop it or not. Probably not. Maybe if I hit the escape key. All right, I'm going to pull this up for a second. Don't try this at home. So I guess I got a cancel button right there. All I got to do is hit cancel on it. Gotta wait for it. Cancel. Oh well. Yes, I want to stop the operation. All right. So if I go to my lighting and I hit my artificial lights, you can see I got these troffer lights from inside, so I can turn those off. No, seriously. This is embarrassing. I won't hold you up any longer. I'll play around with this. The next video I do will be more on the interior perspective and how we're going to output this, and also our exterior perspective. So keep working on that. The other thing I'd like you to do, whether this thing will let me out or not, is go find a nice background picture for your view. So if I just go to, I'll just type in landscape images and hit my image library. So I may find a nice background, and one of the things you want to remember is try to keep your perspective. So if you look at a picture like this, and imagine my hotel would block out this tree, so the trees in the background would pretty much be to perspective and the grass in the foreground. So if I actually made my hotel kind of this hill up over the back and kind of eliminated this tree so the hotel hit it, it might give me a good perspective. So you don't want to use something that the trees are going to look bigger than the hotel. So it needs to be something that wherever you're taking your picture from has an aspect ratio. So a picture like this wouldn't work very well, or a picture like this. You need something, this would work okay because you got the clouds in the background, you got a good far away look, got a balloon in the sky, so putting your hotel up in a place like this would be nice. Anything that's got, there's one with a rainbow, and that's got a far enough away look so that you could put that in and have a rainbow in the background. Other pictures don't do as well. So if a tree's in the front here, it wouldn't work, and something like this would work. Anything that's got the same kind of perspective as where you're looking from would work, and it's just going to give you a nice look. So if I grab this and let me take the other one. I'll grab this one. Save image as. Yeah, I'll just put it in there. So you can just download it and this thing is still cranking, so I'm not going to be able to get into it. But next video I'll show you how to put those backgrounds in. We'll get our exports done, so I'll do the interior first, and then we'll do a video for the exterior. Both will be submitted the same way, and we'll get those things ready. So that is this week's assignment and lab, is to get in there and get your rooms kind of basically finished up, furniture in there, grab what you can, get them dressed up, add your outlets, your light fixtures, your anything that's going to be visual in the shot, and then we'll finish them up next week. So I'll have some videos available to you in a little bit. Thanks.